Hey everyone, Walter's here. Ever feel like your brain's running a marathon while you're just trying to chill on the couch? Yeah, me too. We're talking about overthinking, that pesky habit of replaying, rehashing, and generally overanalyzing everything under the sun. It's like having a tiny, overly caffeinated lawyer in your head, constantly arguing every possible outcome of every single decision. And the worst part? This lawyer never sleeps, takes breaks, or even stops for a coffee refill. It's enough to make anyone want to pull the mental emergency brake. But here's the good news. Just like you can conquer a cold with some rest and fluids, you can tame your overthinking mind with the right strategies. Think of it this way. Our brains are incredible, complex organs capable of amazing things. But sometimes they get a little too good at their job. They get stuck in overdrive, analyzing every little detail and coming up with worst-case scenarios like it's an Olympic sport. It's like having a supercomputer that's been programmed to worry. Ever miss out on a great conversation because you were too busy replaying an awkward moment from earlier? Or maybe you've struggled to fall asleep because your mind was busy planning out every possible disaster for the next day. Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the thing. Overthinking doesn't have to rule your life. You don't have to be a prisoner in your own mind. There are simple, practical things you can do to break free from that cycle of worry and find some much-needed peace and quiet. Think of it like training a puppy. At first, that puppy's going to want to chase every squirrel and bark at every leaf. But with patience, consistency, and maybe a few treats along the way, you can teach that puppy to focus, relax, and enjoy the walk. And trust me, the benefits are worth it. Imagine feeling calmer, more focused, and way more able to handle whatever life throws your way. Plus, when you're not constantly stuck in your own head, you're free to actually enjoy life. You can be more present in conversations, savor those delicious meals, and appreciate the beauty around you. So are you ready to ditch the overthinking and unlock a happier, more peaceful you? Let's do this. Okay, so why do we overthink in the first place? What's going on in our brains that makes us want to analyze every little thing to death? Well, it turns out there's actually a scientific reason for it. You see, our brains are hardwired to look for problems. It's a survival mechanism that goes way back to our caveman days. And while most of us aren't dodging saber-toothed tigers these days, that ancient wiring is still very much alive and kicking in our modern brains. The problem is that our modern world is full of perceived threats that our brains latch onto. A stressful work deadline, a disagreement with a friend, even just trying to choose what to have for dinner. Our brains interpret these everyday situations as potential dangers and go into overdrive trying to control the outcome. It's like our brains are stuck in a loop, replaying the same worries and anxieties over and over again like a broken record. The good news is that we're not powerless against this ancient wiring. Think of it this way. Our brains are like superpowered computers, capable of incredible things, but just like any computer, they can get bogged down with too much data and start running slow. That's what happens when we overthink. We're essentially overloading our systems with unnecessary worry and stress. But hey, at least we can laugh about it, right? So, how do we break free from this overthinking cycle? Well, the first step is to recognize that those negative, anxious thoughts, that inner critic that's always telling you you're not good enough, smart enough, or prepared enough, those thoughts aren't always right. In fact, they're often wrong. They're just thoughts, fleeting patterns of electrical activity in our brains. And just because we think something doesn't make it true. All right, let's talk mindfulness. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just a fancy word for meditating and chanting Om on a yoga mat? And hey, if that's your thing, more power to you. But mindfulness is way simpler than you might think. It's just about paying attention to the present moment, like really paying attention without judgment. Imagine this. You're holding a warm cup of coffee. Instead of letting your mind race through your to-do list, you focus on the feel of the cup in your hands, the aroma filling your senses, the warmth spreading through your body. That's mindfulness in action. Next up, let's talk about journaling. Now I know what you're thinking. Walter, journaling? Isn't that what teenagers do with glitter pens and lock-and-key diaries? Okay, fair point. But journaling isn't just for angsty teens, it's actually a powerful tool for calming an overthinking mind. Think of your journal as a safe space to vent all those worries, fears, and what-ifs swirling around your head. It's like having a heart-to-heart with yourself, without judgment or interruption. Just let it all out on paper. Now let's talk about boundaries. Yeah, just like we set boundaries in our relationships, we can also set boundaries with our thoughts. It's like putting up a big "do not enter" sign for those negative, unproductive thoughts that love to crash our mental party. When you notice yourself spiraling into overthinking mode, Gently redirect your attention to something more positive or productive. The key is to train your brain to focus on what you can control, your actions, your reactions, rather than getting bogged down in worries you can't do anything about. It's like telling those negative thoughts, "Hey, thanks for stopping by, but I'm busy right now." Okay, this next strategy is my personal favorite. Challenge your thoughts. Remember that inner critic we talked about earlier? The one who loves to dish out negative judgments like free candy? Well, it's time to put those thoughts on trial. Here's the deal. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Our thoughts are often biased, irrational, and based on incomplete information. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this or I'm going to fail," stop and ask yourself, is that really true? Alright, we've talked about taming those overthinking tendencies, but what about actually recharging your mind? Think of it like this. Your brain's like a smartphone. You can have all the best apps and fastest processors, but if the battery's drained, it's not going to do you much good. That's where breaks come in. And no, I'm not talking about scrolling through social media for hours on end. I'm talking about real, intentional breaks, where you disconnect from technology, step away from your to-do list, and give your brain a chance to chill out. Go for a walk, listen to some music, meditate, or just stare out the window for a few minutes. Remember all those things you used to love doing before life got so busy? Maybe it was painting, playing an instrument, building model airplanes, or perfecting your grandma's secret cookie recipe. Whatever it was, it's time to dust off those hobbies and make time for them again. Hobbies are like vitamins for the soul. They engage our creativity, challenge us in new ways, and remind us that there's more to life than just work and responsibilities. Plus, when you're fully immersed in something you enjoy, your worries and anxieties tend to fade into the background. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and unleash your inner awesome. Do you know what's even better than a fancy spa day? Spending time in nature? Seriously, it's like Mother Nature's own personal therapy session, and it's completely free. There's something about being surrounded by trees, fresh air, and the sounds of nature that just calms the mind and soothes the soul. And the best part is, you don't have to go on a week-long camping trip to reap the benefits. Even just a short walk in the park, a picnic under a tree, or a few minutes spent gardening can make a world of difference. Okay, I know, you've heard it a million times before, get enough sleep, but seriously folks, I'm not kidding around here. Sleep is like the ultimate life hack. It's free, it feels amazing, and it does wonders for your physical and mental health. Think of sleep as your brain's nightly spa treatment. It's when your brain gets to finally relax, recharge, and process all the information it's taken in throughout the day. So make sleep a priority. Alright, let's talk about the awesome benefits of a recharged mind. First up is mental clarity. Remember that feeling of brain fog, like you're wading through quicksand just to form a coherent thought? Yeah, that's overthinking's best friend. But when you give your mind a break, something magical happens. It's like someone hit the defrag button on your brain, organizing all those scattered thoughts and making room for new ideas and inspiration. You start to see things more clearly, make connections you didn't before, and that mental fog, poof, gone like yesterday's bad date. Next up, decision-making. Ever get stuck in a loop of agonizing over every little decision, from what to eat for breakfast to whether to reply to that email? Overthinking loves to turn us into professional procrastinators, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. But here's the thing, when you're calm and collected, decision-making becomes a breeze. You're able to weigh your options objectively, trust your gut, and move forward with confidence. No more second-guessing, no more buyer's remorse, just clear-headed, decisive action. Now, for the big one, happiness. I know it sounds too good to be true. But seriously, when you're not constantly stuck in your own head, worrying about every little thing, you'd be amazed at how much lighter and happier you feel. It's like you've traded in a heavy backpack full of rocks for a feather-light tote bag. You're free to enjoy the simple things, appreciate the good in your life, and approach each day with a sense of optimism and joy. And the best part? Happiness is contagious. Speaking of ripple effects, here's something unique to consider. When you learn to calm your own overthinking mind, you're not just doing yourself a favor, you're also making the world a calmer, more peaceful place. Think about it. When you're calm and centered, you're less likely to get caught up in drama, react impulsively, or spread negativity. You become a calming presence in a world that desperately needs it. It's like that old saying, be the change you want to see in the world. By calming our own minds, we contribute to a collective sense of peace and well-being. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, we can inspire others to do the same. Now, wouldn't that be something? So there you have it, folks. We've explored the wacky world of overthinking, uncovered the science behind those runaway thoughts, and armed ourselves with a whole arsenal of strategies to calm the chaos and recharge our minds. Remember that feeling of being trapped in your own head like a hamster on a wheel going nowhere fast? Well, guess what? You hold the key to stepping off that wheel and reclaiming your inner peace. It's time to ditch the mental clutter and create space for the good stuff. Clarity, joy, and a whole lot less stress. This isn't about becoming some kind of Zen master with a permanently blissed out expression. It's about giving yourself permission to relax, to let go of the need to control everything, and to embrace the messy, beautiful, unpredictable ride that is life. But here's the thing. Knowing the strategies is just the first step. The real magic happens when you put them into practice. Think of it like learning a new dance move. You can watch all the YouTube tutorials in the world, but until you get out on the dance floor and start moving, you're not going to see any progress. So what's it going to be? Are you ready to trade in that overthinking mind for a calmer, more peaceful version of yourself? Pick one strategy that resonates with you, whether it's mindfulness, journaling, setting boundaries, or giving your inner critic a reality check, and commit to trying it out today. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. Some days you'll nail it, other days those pesky thoughts might try to creep back in, and that's okay. Just gently redirect your attention, give yourself a healthy dose of self-compassion, and get back to practicing those calming techniques. Here's something cool to think about. When you calm your own mind, you're not just making your own little corner of the world a more peaceful place, you're actually contributing to a ripple effect of calm that can spread far and wide. Think about it. When you're calm and centered, you're less likely to get caught up in drama, react impulsively, or spread negativity. You become a calming presence in a world that desperately needs it. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, your newfound peace will inspire someone else to start their own journey toward a calmer mind. So let's start a movement, folks. Let's spread the calm, one deep breath, one mindful moment, one journal entry at a time. The world needs more peace, more joy, more laughter, and it all starts with quieting the noise in our own minds. Well, that's it for me, folks. It's been a blast hanging out with you today and diving deep into the fascinating world of overthinking. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. We all have those moments when our minds go into overdrive. But with the right tools and a healthy dose of self-compassion, you can learn to tame those runaway thoughts and create a more peaceful, joyful life. Now go forth and spread the calm. I'm signing off for now, but I can't wait to hear about all the amazing ways you're recharging your minds and living your best lives. Until next time, peace out. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to help others on their journey to a calmer mind. See you soon.